started very long time ago, at around 1910. And by that time it was doing wheat. Later on, maize came in, Jogo was born. Later on, other products came in. And not long time ago, Unga Farm Care was born. Now Unga Farm Care deals with animal production, animal products. Unga Farm Care, we have quite a range of products. We have feeds, we have minerals, we have animal health products, we have other products that came the other day like Max Care Reviver. We have a product called Spray 4. It's a milk repressor for calves. Basically, we have all the products you need in the farm. Dairy products, we have products from the calf. From the calf, we have calf pellets. We have a calf pellets, which is supposed to be given to a calf 1 week. After 1 week, from 7 days, you can start giving the calf pellets, which is supposed to be given dry, the way it is, the pelleted the way it is. Simply because when the calf is born, in general, a ruminant has 4 stomachs. But when the calf is born, only one stomach is functional, the stomach that digests milk. So we introduce the calf pellets as it is dry so that it can be able to stimulate the growth of the first stomach, which is rumen, so that the calf can be able to eat the other feeds earlier so that it can grow faster. A calf eating calf pellets, it's drinking milk the way it's supposed to drink and probably eating grass and anything on the farm. It grows faster than a calf drinking, taking milk alone. Secondly, the most important part of the calf pellets is when you're weaning the calf will not have that shock of weaning, because it will have known how to eat other solid feeds earlier, as opposed to a calf that has been through milk the entire period of 3 months, and when you stop giving milk, that calf usually have a shock that usually takes the growth rates behind or back by the time it gets used to eating other feeds. From calf pellets, at around 3 months you stop, then you continue with another one called young stock pencils, which is not very common with farmers, but it's very important. Young stock pencils you give to a calf from 3 months. You give a calf, you give a kilo every day up to 6 to 8 months. And I'm sure that calf will be big as compared to a calf that was brought up with milk alone. Then from there, you can start giving the balanced diet that is available on the farm, the ones you are feeding the bigger cows. That, however, will continue. There are minerals along with it. You're supposed to give deworming. You're supposed to deworm every other day, every 2 months, every 3 months to enhance growth rate. From there now, that calf becomes a heifer. It is served at an age of 1 year 3 months and 1 year 6 months. It's served, then you wait for it to calf down. Then from there, it's when you're supposed to give dairy meal. Dairy meal, it's a feed. Actually, Unga products are products that are made very carefree. We are GMP. GMP is good manufacturing practices. We are compliant to that. And one thing we do with our feeds is screening of our raw materials. That is selecting our raw materials. When you select quality raw materials, you make quality feeds. Secondly, we do aflatoxin test before we take the products to Unga. And aflatoxin is very important. The one usually farmers ignore when they do their own formulations at home. They buy raw materials from wherever. They don't know the quality of raw materials. They don't even know the color of a good raw material, because a farmer knows only a maize. A maize, they can tell a maize, this is a maize that is bad or good. But there are other products along with making feeds. For example, like cotton or sunflower. A farmer may not know a good quality sunflower. So more than often they make a very poor product, and they don't do any aflatoxin test. So they do a very poor product, which can be can have a risk of aflatoxin and also can risk in lowering their production. We have two types. Actually, we have three types of poultry feeds. We have layers category, we have broilers category, then we have, which is not long time ago produced, kienyeji feeds. So in general, we have covered all the poultry range the farmer can keep. If we can start with the layer category, we have chick and duck mash, which is supposed to be fed to a chick from day 1 to 8 weeks. That is 2 months. After that, you're supposed to go to growers mash. You give growers mash and you feed ad lib. Patia chakula bila kupimia. You don't lash on the feed. They will eat to their need, and that's when they will grow better. Growers mash you feed until you start seeing 1 or 2 eggs at an age of around 4.5 months. You wait until you get around 5% of the eggs before you shift to layers. So layers you feed for the entire period the bird will be laying. And it is important to know how much you're going to feed every day a layer, because it will determine your production. A layer needs to eat 140 grams per bird per day. So you need to calculate how many birds you have, each bird 140 grams per bird per day, then you know how many kilos you are going to be feeding the birds. Not forgetting the management. Management is a very important aspect, whereby you need to have feeders and drinkers, standard drinkers, feeders, the right number, the right sizes, the right stocking capacity of the house. The house needs to be a standard house with very good ventilation. You can have a very good feed, but poor management, you may not get the desired results. From there, then we have the broiler feeds. We have broiler starter and broiler finisher. The broilers, they're supposed to stay in your farm around 6 weeks or less time, whereby you feed starter mash or starter crumbs. It's the same feed. It's only one is mashed, the other one is a bit clamped. You feed it from day 1 to around 21 days. Then from 21 days, you start giving finisher mash or finisher pellets, same thing, but make sure you do gradual change in between when you're doing your feeding. Use at least, do at least 3 days gradual changing, so that the bird may not realize that you've changed the feeds. It will stress them. We have another feed for broilers that is called a 3-stage feed. The one I've talked about is the starter and finisher, which is a 2-stage feed. We have another one that came up not long time ago, a 3-stage feed, whereby we have starter crumbs, we have grower pellets, and we have finisher pellets. For that 3-stage feed, needs a farmer who has a very good house with very good ventilation, because as you note, we don't have a mash in between. All of it is clamped and pelleted. Very good ventilation is key when a farmer is using 3S feeds. 3-stage feed, you give starter clamps day 1 to day 10. From day 11 to day 25, you give grower pellets, then finisher pellets from 26 to 35 days, when you're supposed to have a that bird with around 1.5 to 1.8 kilograms dressed weight. Then we have the last one, the kienyeji. In Unga, we have done a very good kienyeji feed, as opposed to what has been in the market. What has been in the market is a kienyeji feed that is just one feed, a general feed, the one you're supposed to feed a chick, the one you're supposed to feed the growers, the one you're supposed to feed a layer, and yet the need of those birds in stages, it's very different. So we've done as per the stages. We have the kienyeji chick, that is for the chicks up to 2 months. Then we have kienyeji growers. They eat growers until they start laying. Then you give kienyeji layers. The whole time you'll have those birds. We have this product called Max Care Revival, which is a 1 kilo powder product, which is supposed to be given to a cow immediately after calving. immediately after calving, and that is very key, immediately before the cow starts drinking any other water, because after the cow has calved down, already there is a deficit in her body, because it has not been eating well shortly before calving. It has not been eating in the process of calving, and shortly after calving, it's when we want to maximize the cow's production by repressing what has been lost during that period. And this product will enable that cow to have energy. First of all, is to have energy because of that strenuous exercise. Secondly, this product will give the cow calcium, which will be able to close the gap maybe it was there in the body, and that calcium also is it's in the part of metabolism and giving the cow appetite to eat dry feeds. And that dry feeding, as fast as the cow starts eating the dry feeding, it's as fast as it will start producing milk sooner, the soonest possible. Secondly, it will give, I have said, it will give the cow appetite, the calcium, and also it has electrolytes, minerals to replace what has been lost in all that liquid that has been lost in the cow. So this product, in short, is a very good product for those who are dairy farmers, who are serious dairy farmers, because initially the cows used to delay coming on, accumulating appetite to start eating and to start producing milk. But that period is much shortened by this product called Muscia's Reviver. This is one dose. 1 kilo is enough for one cow. It's mixed with 5 liters of water, hot water. You mix very well until that powder is dissolved. Then you add 15 liters of water. That water will be 20 liters and it will be slightly warm. And that cow is supposed to drink that 20 liters of water. Yes. Okay. There's another product, still from the same company, Nutreco. It's called a Spray4. It's the milk represser for calf, which is supposed to be given. You can start as early as after 4 days of the calf's life, or you can start even after 1 week. This is a bit superior in regards to the cow's milk and in relation to the calf's needs. The milk, actually, the mother's milk is the best, actually, but the cow's milk content will remain constant, but this one is formulated as per the need of a growing calf. The need of a growing calf, it's going higher, and the milk content remained constant. So this one is formulated in regard to the growth of the calf. This one will give at least 15% more growth weight compared to the normal milk. You start with the calf. We have Afiabora Ready Brock, which you start giving. Actually, I need you to note the first week of the calf, there are things we introduce. We've talked about milk repressor. We've talked about calf pellets. And on that period, you also introduce Ready Brock, Afiabora Ready Brock. If you can see, if I can have that Ready Brock Baraza, this is a slightly softer mineral because it's targeted for a baby that is growing some taste buds on the tongue. We don't want those taste buds to be eroded by licking a harder brock that we have for bigger animals. So we need to start with this, a slightly softer, and it has been put molasses, which is slightly sugary, sweet for the baby to like the product. And the minerals formulated, they are very high for the growth of the calf. This one is given from the week 1 up to 9 months of that calf. From that stage now, you start treating the calves as they are. If there's a bull, nowadays we don't layer bulls. Bulls you just fatten. There's a mineral for the bulls called stock leak. You just fatten and sell. For the heifer, then you go the heifer way. They are now what the program you're supposed to use. There's a mineral called Afiabora dairy leak, which is supposed to be fed for that hay from the 9 month until the heifer comes on heat. It continues with that mineral until it's served. It continues with that mineral until it calves down. Because we don't give calves, heifers, dry cow mineral because the heifer is still growing. Already on itself is still growing, so the need of calcium and other minerals still high, and it has a baby growing inside still demanding some more minerals. So we recommend that we don't use dry cow mineral for the heifers until they calve down. So when they calve down, we have two types of minerals. One is depending on the milk production. Now you treat milking animals depending on how they are treating you. If they're giving you more, there are products you're supposed to give them. If they're giving you less, there are products you're supposed to give. There's a Afya Bora Maziwa, which is given to cows producing 20 liters and below per day. We call that cow an ordinary producer. 15 liters and below, you give Afya Bora Maziwa at a rate of 100 grams per cow per day. Now measurements comes in, and it's very important. What we use to measure our minerals is very important because the grammage is very tricky if you don't have the measurement. We do not have the measurement at the moment, but we recommend some innovations to be done in the farm. There are those containers you buy from agrovet to measure the herbicides and other things in the shamba that is calibrated. You can use that container. If you cannot get that, you have the containers you buy milking serve with, which starts from 50 grams, 100 and above. You can find that container and use it and stop using spoons. We don't recommend usage of spoons because we do not know how much a spoon, what type of spoon can hold which amount of minerals. And so many farmers actually, they miss that point. And I can assure you, 80% of farmers using spoons to measure minerals, they have issues of cows coming on heat. They have issues of cows coming on heat. So if you can improvise in the farm, find those containers to be measuring minerals, it will be good for us. If a cow produces 20 liters and above, we classify that cow as a high yielder. That's a high yielder. The need of that cow is higher than a cow producing less. So we need to give a very premium minerals, a mineral that can enable the cow to absorb as much as possible minerals within the short period of time. So we have Afya Bora Maziwa Tele. There are minerals that have been added onto it, and it has been bioplexed. Bioplexing means coating those minerals with a special protein such that when they go to the stomach, to the lumen, they'll be absorbed as fast as possible because they have the transport means already, so they go directly to the blood system. With that, you're increasing bioavailability of those minerals for those high-producing animals. With that, now you give a rate of 150 grams per cow per day, still using those measurements, and completely avoid spoons. Those two cows will continue cycling, and they'll be served again. We recommend that they be served in a period of 3 months after calving, so that we target a calf every year. Actually, that has been the standard, a calf every year. So after calving, you serve it within 3 months. Then you continue milking until the cow is 7 months pregnant. That's when we are supposed to dry. That's when you're supposed to dry, give a cow a rest to be able to accumulate some reserves for the next lactation and for the calving period. That period of time of 2 months, that period of time, 60 days, 2 months, you're supposed to use a Fiabora dry cow mineral. A Fiabora dry cow mineral is very important because it will reduce the cases of milk fever. It will reduce the cases of milk fever, reduce the cases of retained placenta, and all those things. They are very dangerous, and some of them are very expensive, like milk fever. You can even lose a cow. By a small thing you could have prevented. It is said that prevention is better than cure. It's very, very important. Prevention is better than cure. Dry cow will prevent milk fever, retained placenta, which you will be, when you call a vet in your farm to correct all those anomalies, they charge you. They may charge you more expensively than even the cost of the mineral and other losses can come across. So that period of 2 months, dry cow mineral, when the cow is calving down, put aside that mineral and continue with the mineral you've been using. Then we have another brock called a Fiabora hard brock. That's a very big hard brock. Now you can use it in the herd for mature animals. It's harder than this. It's a hard mineral for mature animals. That's a range of our minerals. And just to recap, the stock leak for beef, for bulls and sheep and goats. Yes. Let's say whoever is doing farming, whether it's dairy or poultry, he or she is doing it as a business. We are no longer in the era of doing the kawaida things we used to do. The way the world is going, the way the economy is going, the way everything is going, it demands for more money than before. So we need to target for higher production. First of all, you need to have good animals. If it's chick, if it's poultry, you need to get your chicks from a reputable company for you to be assured you have a quality bird. If it's a cow, you need to know how you're doing your genetics. You needed to know how you're doing your AI to improve on whatever you have. Once you're assured you have a quality animal, whether bird or cow or fish or what, then the next step will be management. Management is very key. Management is very, very important, and actually management carries a higher percentage of productivity. Management is very important. You need to have very good housing. If it's poultry, if it's dairy, you need to have a good housing. You need to have very good hygiene. You need to have, in general, you have to have good management. Then after that, we go to the feeding. That choice of feeding, it's very, very important, because you can do the step 1 and step 2 very well and then mess up on feeds, then you don't get your product, your desired production. So I would advise the farmers that the products we have in Unga, they're the products that have been made very carefree by the steps I had explained before, the screening of raw materials, the mixing, the everything, and on top of that we have technical backup that we visit our farmers to see how they are doing, whether they are getting the desired result as what as in regards to the product they are using. So we cover the farmer. It's kind of, we insure the farmer on all the ground, from buying the feed, in management, we are also involved in it. Visiting the farmers, we also do that. So I would advise the farmers to try Unga products, their quality. Even though the farmers complain about the price, I would advise them that price comes along with quality. And it's very, it's general, it's advisable to have a good product and good productivity with very little stress, as opposed to hopping around using this product. It has disappointed you, you have gone down, then you're rising up. It's good to stay on one plane with very reduced stress and very good production.